and welcome to Community Connections. This is our over the holiday show, so we finish up a little bit before Christmas, then we go into a little bit before New Year's, and then when we come back, it's 2023. But we're excited with all the guests we have on and what's going on. We'll be talking about a lot of what's happening in January of 2023, including the big kickoff on New Year's Eve, the boot drop in Prescott with Matt Broussard. He'll be on a little bit later on in the show. But first, we have Matthew Phillips. He's the Development and Communication Manager with U.S. Vets. They are celebrating their 20th anniversary with a big concert with one of my favorites that I grew up with and know very well, Mr. Tony Orlando. So welcome, Matthew. How are you?
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to everyone. We're very excited. This is going to be our 20th anniversary. Mm-hmm. So we've actually been in the community for 20 years, providing services to veterans experiencing homelessness. And one of the exciting things is on January 13th, Tony Orlando is going to be coming over to Yavapai College to do a concert for us to celebrate our 20 years and say thank you to the community. And just it's going to be a celebratory kind of thing. Very excited.
That's wonderful. Let's see, Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Right.
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Mm-hmm. Oh, and so many other wonderful hits. Where will you be holding this concert?
We'll be holding it at the Performance Hall at Yavapai College.
Okay.
So it's going to be starting at 7 o'clock. You can also purchase pre-dinner. So before the actual concert.
Make a whole evening out of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think is going to be really wonderful is that this would be a very special gift for someone to give someone for the holidays because it's very unique. He travels quite a bit, but he hasn't been in this region, so we're even more excited about that because of his long history of entertaining, and everyone knows him, and he's just he's gotten all kinds of awards and such. So we're very excited.
A friend of mine called him one of her heartthrobs back in the day. So this is a great stocking stuffer or whatever that you can use in the future. So many times, one of the things I like are the gifts of experience. And something that I can anticipate enjoy later on as opposed to right now just opening something that's something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
So celebrating the 20th anniversary of U.S. Vets, let's talk a little bit about what you do.
So we actually house homeless veterans, but it's not just that. We've actually, for the past 20 years, we've served about a little over 8,000 veterans in the community. So when they come into our facility, we have workforce development. We help them get jobs. We obviously help them get permanent housing. We have temporary housing. Mm-hmm. We also have a clinical team. We have case managers. We have a culinary program. So we have all kinds of different aspects of how we can help them out. When they first come in, we sit down with them because every single person is an individual.
Right.
And their situation is unique to them. So we sit down and we say, okay, how can we help you? And we put them on a track to success. Mm-hmm. And when they leave our facility, they're 99% of the time they're leaving to go to a job or to another area of the country to live, or in our community. Mm-hmm. So it's, we get letters, there's been times where I've been in a store and an old client has come up, tapped me on the shoulder and told me an incredible story about where they were, which I know, and where they've come to.
Right.
And it's a really wonderful thing to watch someone who, comes into our facility, the only possessions they might have is one little Walmart bag.
So do they just walk into your facility, or do you have an outreach that goes out and actually looks for homeless veterans out, maybe where they might be residing?
That's a great question. We actually have an outreach department. And also, I think I really want to emphasize this, and that's that we don't do it alone. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of connections across the community. We've built those relationships. So other nonprofits or other agencies will give us a ring and say, hey, I've got this person in front of me. They're having whatever problems they're having, challenges, and would you guys be able to help them? And so our outreach guys will go out and visit with them and find out what their situation and see if we can help them out. So we have all kinds of connections across all of northern Arizona. So it's not just Prescott Valley, Chino, not the Quad Cities. We go all the way up to Flagstaff and stuff. So we actually have a lot of connections.
Your housing that you say you house homeless, how many can you accommodate?
Right now we have 130. So we have 130 on our facility at Liberty Point. So that includes permanent housing and temporary housing,
right?
Which is really, I think, a beautiful key thing, because one of the things that's predominant with the veterans that are coming in is I like to isolate. They can't isolate on this facility because it's a peer-to-peer thing, and all of our staff is there too. So if I don't see someone for a day, that's fine. If I don't see them for 2 days, I'm like, And so then we'll go to their apartment and find out, if they're okay and, what's going on. We also have an activity director, which is also very key, because she puts on some fabulous activities throughout the week to get them motivated, to get them socialized, and also to have other community members come in and dedicate their time and such to activities and those kind of things.
How are your programs funded?
They're funded through primarily grants, but a lot of the funding comes from individuals and from businesses. We are
to support U.S. vets.
Correct. We're a tax qualifying charitable organization.
Oh, through the Arizona tax credit?
Right. So if an individual wants
So no government funding?
We get government funding also.
Some.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you should.
Absolutely, we do.
I know veterans have served our country.
Oh, absolutely.
So, absolutely. And then, is this a fundraiser, the concert?
It is.
Or a celebration, or both?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. So the tickets prices are going to be going to U.S. vets.
Sure.
And so it is a fundraiser, but also as important as it's a celebratory event for everyone, just to say thank you. Thank you for being able to let us do what we do and serve those who served.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you plan on making this an annual event? Did you have it last year?
We did. We had one last year. So every year we're going to bring in a different performer and use it as an annual event, a fundraiser, and also again just do something for the community that's fun. And
this time of year.
Correct.
In January.
I
always think there's nothing to do, but if you're watching the show today, you will find there's plenty to do in January once the holidays are over.
Absolutely.
So how would someone get tickets?
They would go to the Yavapai box office and purchase the tickets there. So they can
So
go.
ycpac.com is the Yavapai Performing Arts Center. You can purchase tickets there. You can pick your seats. I plan on attending. So that again, what day is that? That is Friday, January 13th. Yeah, 7 p.m. Yavapai Performance Hall. So wonderful. Well, thank you, Matthew, for joining us. All you do for U.S. vets. We'll see you there.
Thank you so much.
All right, short break. We'll be right back.
Everybody.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back to Community Connections. Like I said, coming up in January, lots of exciting things going on. And if you've followed us and you've watched our interviews, one of my favorite guests is Robin Allen with Sousa's Prescott Center for the Arts. We've talked about the capital campaign going on in the building of the new studio theater. And it's almost here.
It's almost there. We're so excited.
Yes.
We're scheduled to open 1st of January. And this just means so much for us and the community, because not only are we going to be able to do some fun, creative things in our space, because although the theater is in the round, you can also convert it to a thrust stage, which means like a horseshoe shape, or an alley theater. It's really a versatile space.
Well, similar to what we used to have in the old stage 2, our little black box theater.
It really is.
That's gone away, and then this
is bigger. We have 99 seats,
Wow.
which is still intimate, which is my favorite kind of theater.
Mine too.
It's very much like film acting, and the audience kind of feels like they're right there in the space, which we'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, not only that, but we have this amazing costume collection that we don't even know what we have, quite frankly. And we've been collecting it for 50 years, of course, because we've been around that long, 52 years. And it's been pushed in every nook and cranny. So we'll have a costume department. We'll have a huge classroom, because we're finally growing into our name, Sousa Prescott Center for the Arts, meaning all art. So we'll have visual art classes. We'll have a new gallery there.
Wow.
Rehearsal space, beautiful rehearsal space down. If you haven't seen it, come let us give you a tour, because it's
So
amazing.
is it available to come over and tour now?
At the first of the
If you
season.
have a hard hat.
Yeah. Right
Yeah,
now we're
still?
still, but I mean, we're doing private tours. We can get in there and show some private tours, especially for businesses in the area that might want to come and check it out and see how we
absolutely.
can work together on some projects. But yeah, we're doing private tours at the moment, and why don't you come down? You
I
haven't
want
seen it in a
to.
while.
I haven't seen it in
I know.
several, probably
Bring a
5-6
camera crew.
months. Yeah, hey, Mark. We're going to do a road trip. We're on the road show. We like to do that, but a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I
It
mean,
is
it's
exciting.
a long time being, a plan. Those things just don't happen overnight with the capital campaign and building it.
gosh.
It
and-
has been, and it's a full service arts center, which is what what we're excited about. We'll have something for every artist, whether they want to come and sort of have a talk about their creative process. We'll have opportunities for that in our artist lounge. So it's exciting times.
And then educational programs for the children too.
And the
I know
education
that's
for
one of the
that was
things
one of the reasons that drove it, right? Because we really had no space
Right.
at all to grow our youth program, and they are our future, and so that's really exciting. We're being able to add more programming for them as well.
So with the opening of the studio theater, how does it affect the cabaret theater that is currently being used now for the shows?
It just gives us more versatile opportunities for whatever the play may want. If you have proscenium seating or something, bigger musical or something like that, the space might lend for better acoustics in the cabaret for a large musical, although the studio theater will be able to do small musicals as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of what's happening at the studio theater, it's opening next month.
Yes.
And the show opening is, I'm going to say it, Picasso at the Lapin Agile.
That was perfect.
She did it.
And then you peek.
Directing is Alfred Hundo here with us in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
How
you.
exciting to not only, first of all, you're an amazing director and actor.
Oh, thank you.
Just
All
seen
that
you,
stuff.
but all that stuff. But to have your play opening the new studio.
Oh,
Do you
it's-
feel there's any pressure, like you're going to really have to show up on this? Any thoughts
Yeah,
on that?
why would I think that? I mean, when I had a production meeting and this play was written for a proscenium stage because he has several references of things behind the bar, this big hideous painting up behind the bar. Well, we're doing it in the round. There is no behind the bar. My boss, she wants to show off all the bells and whistles, the first show out of the box. So I said, okay, it's a challenge, but I'm up to it. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a whole different world directing it around. You don't need flats. You don't need those because you couldn't see through them. But yeah, we basically have 4 audiences because it's
Right.
risers pull out on all 4 points of the compass, and we have our circle in the center, which is our circular bar.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a fun piece. It's written by Steve Martin. So that sort of shows
Kind
its
of give us a
hand.
little bit about it. It has a very interesting title.
It's farcical. It's also a fable. It never really happened. We have Albert Einstein and Pablo Picasso, both in their early 20s, meeting in this bar in Paris, Montmartre area of Paris. And that never happened. That never happened. But Picasso did frequent this place quite a bit. In fact, I believe he even had some works of his there for a while.
Okay.
But it's a fun piece. It's so over the it's over the top, but it's not. We're not playing it for laughs. We're playing it straight, letting the words take care of the humor, and it's some wonderful characters. I was telling you outside, it's kind of like Cheers before Cheers. I mean, in a way. I mean, this was written after that program, but this is 1904 Paris, and it's very much like that. We've got
The regulars coming in.
the regular, we have the bartender and the waitress have a thing going on. You know, that's totally Sam and Diane. And we have Gaston is Norm, played by Jim Paiduck, wonderful actor, very funny. He's going to steal the show. I understand. And but they're all wonderful. All the characters are just marvelous,
Yes.
just marvelous. And I'm having a blast. It's so much fun, and everybody is really excited about being the first one, out of the box. So
I can imagine.
it's historical.
It is. It is. Like, commemorative playbills or things
Yeah,
like that.
right.
It's the first ever, little souvenirs that we commemorate this big, big opening. So exciting. So opens what then?
January 12th,
Uh-huh.
ends on the 22nd.
So 2 weekends?
Yes, 2 weekends.
Okay.
Fortunately, we could use a third, but that's for a future discussion over here.
Yeah. And we'll have a reception before the show. We're going to do several soft openings, until we reach our grand opening on the end of March. But we'll have something special for all of the audience that come and attend this first time around.
I'm just
Nice.
excited.
Yeah.
Have watched it from originally being on the board and then just discussions.
Yes, you helped
and
champion
then,
this.
we've also performed in the old stage too. So, to have this is exciting. So how would somebody get tickets? You don't want to miss this.
Well, go to the website, pca-az.net, and pull it up.
Or you
Picasso
can
at the
call.
Lapinaju. You can call the box office. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
928-445-3286.
He's called it a few times.
I've called it quite a bit. All right, we're excited that it's opening Sousa's Prescott Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
Picasso at La Pinochet.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining
you,
us.
Marnie.
Our break, we'll be right back.
We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
And welcome back to Community Connections. So we're talking about things that are happening in January. Before we can even get there, we have to celebrate New Year's Eve. And joining me now is Matt Broussard, co-owner of Matt's Saloon. And we're talking about the Whiskey Row Boot Drop.
Yes, the 12th annual Whiskey Row Boot Drop.
I know you
coming up.
said 12th annual, and I went, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yep.
How did that get started?
You know, this was kind of a brainchild of Tracy Horn from Helkin and Horn and a few others, Patty Zell from Great
yeah.
Circle Radio. And they were just kind of all, it had been, Tracy's birthday is on on the 1st.
Oh,
and
okay.
she's from New York, so she had always,
Times
thought it would be
Square.
fun. Yeah, exactly. She always thought it'd be fun to drop something, and things evolved, and they came up with the boot.
A boot,
So-
very appropriate.
Yeah, it was very appropriate.
I mean,
I think they had talked about a horseshoe originally, but a horseshoe they figured would look like a U, so that didn't
Yeah,
make sense.
no, because the boot's very distinctive
Yes.
up there. Yeah, Flagstaff has the pine cone.
Pine cone, yeah.
And I think there's some other place that drops in California, drops lettuce. It's
Oh, yeah.
So it's on one of the agricultural cities. So
Yeah.
there's certain, but it's so appropriate. So it's a big deal, big
Yes.
street fair actually,
Yes,
a party.
exactly. Yeah, it's really grown over the years. I mean, the first year, a couple years, a few thousand people showed up, and like last year we had between the two drops over 20,000. So
Wow,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So we always pray for good weather for all of our events through the holidays.
Exactly.
I know that,
Yes.
I'm just like you guys too. When we're planning things, it says, please, 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 please. But what happens if it does snow?
last year we had rain, snow, wind. We still went forward.
The
with
party
it,
goes
and
on.
The party goes on. Yep.
Okay.
Come, like the U.S. Post Office, right?
Yeah. So what does the evening look like? What time does everything start?
Everything starts, so 7:30, the band will start. We have the pickup lines. They're out of Phoenix, and they're a variety band. They
So
play
outdoor stage band.
outdoor stage band,
Okay.
yep. And we've got a Ferris wheel. We've got food vendors. We've got carnival games. So we've got burn barrels that go up and down the street. So, it's still dress warm, but you can come out and keep warm by the burn barrels. And yeah, it's just a big street party. And
So is this Montezuma that's closed down?
yep, Montezuma from Goodwin to Gurley.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, so the whole street, yeah.
So food vendors, activities, dancing, and so then you mentioned 2 boot drops.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So we have, there's always, from the beginning, there was always the 2 drops at 10 p.m. and midnight. 10 p.m. was kind of for the early birds and...
Got one at 8? No.
No, but you know what? People have been suggesting it over the years, so who knows? But
Well,
yeah.
10 is kind of appropriate because we're 2 hours from New York
Yes,
time.
exactly.
So
So
their
that
midnight is
works.
our 10 o'clock.
Exactly. So that works out pretty good. And, that's great for young families that want to get home and get their kids to bed and all that. And then we have the midnight one, which is for the diehards.
For those that are going to, start off the new year right.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So you've seen it grow all these
Yeah,
years because
yeah.
you've been a part of it, right?
Yeah, M&M Entertainment, myself and my business partner, Marco, we took over the 4th year of the boot drop. And it was just it was getting to be a little too much for the ones involved. And so we took it over, and we've just seen it grow every year and try to add a little something every year. And
Just to keep it interesting. Is there
Yeah.
any charge or cost associated?
it's a free event. There is, if you want food, of course, or want to do, the Ferris wheel, there is a small cost for that.
So one of the things that's always fun about New Year's Eve is the champagne, or maybe just the festivities and the
Right.
spirits.
Yeah.
Is that? Can you have that on the street? Will you have that, or
No,
is that?
we're not to that point yet.
Oh, okay.
We've always wanted to keep it family friendly.
Okay.
You've got the bars and restaurants surrounding the square
inside.
that go inside and support those establishments.
Now, do they have specific entertainment also that kind of geared towards that night? In addition, like maybe more than they would normally do because it is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I would say most of the bars and restaurants are going to have some kind of entertainment going. That's the nice thing about downtown is there's little something for everyone. If you want rock and roll, or you want blues, or you want country, everyone has their own little niche. So,
Absolutely. So, what time does everything start?
At 7:30.
7:30. So, like
Yep.
families, you recommend maybe coming downtown. I know
Yeah.
you have food vendors, but
Right.
maybe having dinner downtown
Oh,
first
yeah,
before
come-
you
come
start
down,
enjoying everything.
have dinner.
Support your local economy.
Probably make yeah, exactly. We gotta get that in there, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, come down, have dinner. We obviously probably make reservations because it is New Year's Eve. So
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for the future? I mean, this has become so successful.
Yeah.
On to in perpetuity. I mean, we'll just keep celebrating New Year's Eve in a boot drop.
Keep celebrating it, and we hope to expand it. It might come to a point where we close down more than just because it's really it's gotten really big over the years. So
Well, doesn't it also fall over into the square too?
Yeah,
the
it goes
plaza?
over into the plaza too.
So,
And
yeah.
of course the lights are still on downtown. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
They're so
kinda nice,
beautiful.
yep.
So fireworks?
yes,
You have
we have
fireworks
fireworks at
midnight
both
too?
10 p.m. and midnight. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
This is a whole evening full of fun.
Absolutely. And the midnight fireworks are always a little longer than the 10 p.m. So, you know.
So again, how would somebody find more information about it? I know we got a lot of new people to town that haven't heard of it, or we're just still
Absolutely.
trying to talk about it and let them know what's going on around the community.
Yeah, they can go to bootdrop.com, and that will have all of our information on there. There's we've got maps for parking on there, and you know, just all the information on there. We also, for those that choose not to attend, we'll be live streaming it the whole night. So you can go to bootdrop.com and click on the Vimeo link and see the live stream.
Times Square has nothing on us.
They've
Nothing on Whiskey Row, you know,
That's right.
'cause we do it upright.
That's
so
right.
what's your plans for the next year? You got any
My-
resolutions or any?
Gosh, you're putting me on the spot here.
You know, I
didn't
always
think about it
say
yet.
not resolutions because everybody's like, oh,
Right.
we don't do those.
Right.
Goals or looking forward to something special next year. Something more exciting than mine, which is clean the garage.
Right. I always try to think of what, I guess just peace and happiness.
That is so true. That is so true.
And we've got to live our life. I'm learning over the years, less work and a little more play sometimes is good.
I get that from a lot of my friends too.
Yeah.
So, we've run
right.
into each other at 2 different events this weekend.
Yes.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
So it's like it was fun. It's like we're burning the candle a little bit.
That's right.
Late nights,
exactly.
next days. But it's all fun, and we're supporting the events and the concerts and the performances in our community, and I think that's so important for the quality. Plus, you have a fun place like your place to come down and do a little dancing and hang out with your friends.
There you go.
So
Absolutely.
again, just the shameless plug for Matt Saloon,
Thank you.
located on Whiskey Row.
Thank you.
But again, New Year's Eve, Whiskey Row Boot Drop, starting at 7:30.
Yes.
First drop 10,
Yes. Yep.
and
the
then
second one at
obviously midnight.
Yep.
Bring your family, bring your friends. Lots of things going on with Carnival, Ferris wheel, Carnival activities, and lots of music and dancing. So it looks like a fun time.
And dress warm.
Always dress warm.
But
and
we're going to have
remember,
great weather this year.
well, no matter what, it's still going on.
That's right.
So, okay, and then again,
Bootdrop.com.
bootdrop.com to live stream it and watch it. So,
Yeah.
Matt Broussard, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New
Good
Year
to
to
see you.
you
And to
too.
all of you out there, from Mark and Ryan and I, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll be back in 2023.